guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone. I am joined by Cold Brew from Cold Brew Gaming. You guys should definitely subscribe to this guy's YouTube channel if you have not so far. I've learned so much from watching your channel. Cold Brew, second time here on the channel, man. How you been?
Hey, man, I've been doing great. And happy to be with another collab with you. On your channel.
Yeah, me too, man, especially because today we're going to talk about the most versatile epics here in 2022. There's a lot of new amazing epics added to the game last year. This video, by the way, is not going to include all the Doom Tower or any of the Doom Tower champions. Archmage Helmet would definitely be there, otherwise so would Dark Kale, so would probably all of them, but since a lot of players have not unlocked them and blah blah blah, plus it's hard to narrow it down to only 10 champions, so we've decided to leave them off.
So hard.
Also, we decided to give a massive shout out. I guess not leave her off, but we're gonna say Seer, man. Like, Seer is the queen of every speedrun in the game. Of course, she's the most versatile champion. She's Void Affinity. I mean, it's just an obvious no-brainer. So Seer is, of course, on the list. Now, with all those disclaimers out of the way with, Cold Brew, as my guest, go for it first, man. Who do you have here?
The first one in my list, like,
yes.
I totally agree with Seer, but the first one in my list is going to be Godzilla. Such a fantastic champion, and the reason that I give her a top 10 ranking, just the revive that she has that gives a full reset to the champion's cooldowns. Just an insane support. She saw a big value boost for Hydra now. I've used her in Brutal teams. She's been used in Nightmare teams as well. Insane value out of a single epic Void champion, and Godzilla definitely deserves it. I think so.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. Godseeker is a beast.
You gotta know, that is the voice of an angel. Your voice is like a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
She has like that passive that increases heals. She's got the revive on death. She's got the reduced cooldowns. She's got the increased duration of all buffs decrease on all enemies, increase on all allies, if I can speak. And one thing that I've learned throughout the game too, Cold Brew, is like back when I was a newbie, right? Some would argue I still am. I would say that I really undervalued the increase the duration of all buffs. Like, that is one of my favorite abilities in the game now, you know, especially for longer battles, clan boss, Hydra clan boss. So I love that she has that as well. So yeah, she brings a lot to the table. Completely agree with you. My first, you know, you picked the maybe tied for best revive on an epic champion. I'm gonna pick probably the best revive. I feel like Ursula the Mourner. Sorry to start it out with two voids, guys, but Ursula is just unbelievable. This Requiem revival is the strongest AoE revive in epics, like by far. I feel like revives all dead allies, 75% HP, 50% turn meter, increased defense, big version of strengthen on all allies for 3 turns, man. I mean, come on. She also has the decrease attack and the increase attack on the same ability. She's a really, really, really good champion. Great addition. Also has that great aura for Doom Tower battles, man.
I totally agree with that revive. That revive provides everything that you need to recover from a bad run. So you're not going to lose out on that energy you just spent. You have your reviver Ursula there. She brings back everybody. 75% health. Turn meter to half. Increased defense, which is insane. Strengthen, which is another very good buff that nobody really realizes on how good it is. But yeah, increased defense, strengthen, everything in there together. Fantastic champion, Ursula. I totally agree with that.
Thank you. Yeah, you can use, obviously, their Void too. So both these champions we mentioned so far, you can really use them literally everywhere and anywhere in the game, you know, anywhere that you need support. So, you know, they're the definition of versatility, in my opinion. Who do you have next for us?
Next in the list is going to be Deacon Armstrong. I feel like he's such a cool champion. Again, one of the newer champions added to the game, not a brand new, but again, very good because of how simple his kit looks, but it's not that simple. He boosts speed, he decreases speed, he gets an extra turn, and then he decreases the defense on the whole enemy team. He has an aura that gives speed to everybody, and then the A1 applies leech, which can be used for you know, Doom Tower, clan boss, everywhere that you need some health recovered back in those longer fights. So I think he's just a big addition to any team in there for dungeons, clan boss, Hydra. I could see him in Hydra as well. So definitely a top 10 for me.
Yeah, man, you're right, because if you need turn meter, you got turn meter. You know, if you need decreased defense, he has it up pretty much all the time because he procs that extra turn. And if you need some heals, he's got that too. So he's bringing a lot to the table, and that's what I like to see on super versatile champions. So I agree with you, man. I wanted this guy so bad when he came out, and I just couldn't pull him, man. For an epic champion, I just could not get him. So the day that I pulled Deke,
he was talking about me.
I was so happy, man. Totally agree with that.
And a cheeky pro tip for anybody out there who's got Deacon. If you got a stun set, try it out on Deacon. You're going to be surprised on the amount of turns he gets because he has such low cooldowns. With a stun set, he can be stunning all the time. And it's crazy, especially for dungeons if you're having some issues pushing through. A stun set's going to give you that edge that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good call out, and I have the same exact build on my Deke as well. So, hey, apparently we're just going to go only Bannerlords and Sacred Order because I'm taking you right back to Bannerlords, man. We have none other than, you're going to go with your favorite debuffer, man. I cannot snub Stag Knight, bro. He's just insanely good. Insanely good. I can't get away from Stag Knight because he has a decrease. Talk about a simple kit, right? He's got decreased speed on the A1. He's got decreased defense, decreased attack on the A2. It's on an AoE. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. It's 100% land when you have the sniper mastery. And he also has the increased accuracy. The first character to ever be given that increased accuracy buff on the lead the pack, which is nice to have as well. Get that increased accuracy each time you have a debuff resisted. And the best thing about him too, I mean, well, one of the other amazing things about him is that he's so fast, man. He's got a base 107 speed with a lot of HP, 21k HP, man. He's almost deceptively simple in his kit, but boy, is he amazing. Just one of the best champions in the game, I feel like, honestly. Maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but I think that certainly one of the best epics in the game, and you can use him anywhere. You can use him as your debuffer. He's amazing in Hydra Clan Boss, amazing in Clan Boss, or any dungeon that you need, you know, both decreased attack and defense on the same AoE, or decreased speed on the A1. He's easy for the arena too, because he's easy to build fast, you know?
I 100% agree with this one as well. He was introduced to the game with the battle pass that we had for only one time in the game.
Right?
He was introduced that.
Despite her flaws, do you ever remember to say thank you?
As one of the epics that you would get. Insane value out of a single champion, and any account that gets him at the early start of the account just doesn't feel the same with other accounts. It's just so much power out of a single skill there, that Hunt Muster, which applies decreased defense and decreased attack, and insane value out of the decreased speed on the bosses too, where they can have their speed reduced. It means that you can go more times, get your skills in, and hopefully take down those bosses. Totally agree with the value for this one.
Yeah, I run him too in a shield set, like, or I did before, like when I was in progression in the game. I like ran him in with a bunch of HP, made him really fast, 100% crit rate. He puts out some damage. He, you know, he can give you the shield because of his base HP is pretty high. He's like just an amazing champion. Anyway, I'll shut up about Stag Knight. Who do you got next?
I've got Geomancer next.
Okay.
You might have seen him in the recent Hydra videos from all the other content creators. Geomancer has proven again to be an amazing champion for his skills, unique skill set, especially that passive. He's got that HP burn on a very short cooldown, 3-turn cooldown, that can also steal turn meter where he can actually steal turn meter. So it can actually be a 2-turn cooldown if you steal 100% turn meter. And that HP burn gives that passive an insane value, since it does a lot of damage based on the damage received to your own team. It reflects it back to the enemies, plus it reduces the damage your allies receive as well. If you have the HP burn on the Hydra heads, you'll see huge damage boost to your team. You'll survive even longer. And then he's got the added benefit of his other skills, which are just decreased accuracy, very good for many areas of the game, and especially the Hydra. And then the A2 can steal buffs, which can be useful again everywhere. As long as you see a buff, you just use your Geomancer, use that A2 skill, and he's gonna steal it. Insane amount of value out of this champion, and definitely deserves to be just straight to level 60, fully ascended masteries immediately when you get him in an account.
100% agree. I don't know, you did a very thorough job there. I don't know if I have anything to add other than this is how they should make new champions, right? Like, make them unique, to give them cool passives, give them, you know, AoEs on the A1, I love to see, but then with the decreased accuracy debuff, stealing turn meter, I mean, you almost forget, like, you know what he does intuitively if you have him and you play him, but you almost forget how much you do until you reread some of these kits, you know, on these champions. So totally agree with Geo. Next up, I have definitely my favorite epic added all of last year. Might be my favorite epic in the game, and that is Hugo. I think that Hugo is, probably gonna, and I'm looking here, and I'm probably gonna snub Uragrim unless you have him on your list, but he deserves an honorable mention as well. But let me go back. Hugo, man, she is insane. You have the leech on the A1. On the A2, you have an AoE decreased defense and block buffs, which makes her one of the best champions for Hydra Clan Boss, where block buffs is so important. But not just Hydra Clan Boss, block buffs is one of my favorite debuffs in the game, Cold Brew, because it just makes everything so much easier. All the annoying debuffs in Doom Tower, all the annoying debuffs in Faction Wars, not to mention Hydra Clan Boss. And we get it, both of these on the same ability. Oh my god, that's incredible stuff. We also have, it gets better. We also have a little mini cleanse built in with a great heal. So she is a great healer. She has the leech to add to those heals. She's taking all heal reduction off and another random debuff off instead. If all the allies are dead, why not? We'll add a revival to her kit as well. And then she has like kind of this break in case of emergency passive that's nice to have. You're not really using it very often, but it helps keep her alive in case she is the last living ally, so she can use that revival. Man, Hugo is just insane. Do you agree?
I totally agree, but I will say that once Hugo was out, I never realized the value of this champion. I was just playing, oh, whatever, it's just another epic they added to the game. When I first saw an Hugo in the arena, which just blocked damage on herself through the passive and just revived everybody again, I was like, wait, what? What just happened with Hugo?
Yeah,
where was this
arena.
champion?
Yeah, even in the arena.
I never realized.
And the winner is...
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun.
The value of that insane passive that she has, plus everything else, is just huge. Huge champion, definitely deserves a mention in this top 10 list.
I'm glad you agree. Hugo is incredible. All right, who you got next? Champion number 6, I think.
Next one, we're gonna go over to the Shadowkin, right? Shadowkin is gonna be released soon enough.
Yes.
And I've already made a video about this. Toragi is
you have the Frogman.
One of the best epics in the game, and I would say the best epic in the Shadowkin for sure. Just of how much stuff he has in his kit. Decreased attack on the A1. A2 has AoE provoke, which just increases depending on the debuffs you've got on the enemies. The chance increases depending on the debuffs. He's got a big shield on himself. Ally protection helps you survive, so he takes the damage instead. He's got a reflect on the same thing. He heals, and he also has a passive which applies poisons to enemies that hit him. So tons of value out of a single champion just because of all of that which I mentioned right now. And you'll see how he'll carry you through the Shadowkin faction. If you just have him, he'll be a big point of carrying your team through and getting to the end of Shadowkin and hopefully getting Lydia.
Yeah, man, I love that you pointed out the Frogman. I'm glad that you included him on your list because it's weird. We see this a lot with new champions. It takes a while to people to, fully recognize how much value they have. Kind of like you mentioned with Hugo, right? The Frogman, right. I kind of feel the same way about. You look at his kit and you're like, why doesn't it just jump out at everybody how good this guy is, Decrease attack, like you said, the provoke, the shield, the ally protect, reflect, and all the poisons. He can deal a lot of damage too. So I agree with you, man. Good call out on the frog. Hey, but one on my list, I had a Shadowkin as well. And so I'm going to give you, or you said it's the best Shadowkin epic. I think Hatassi.
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?
Is the best Shadowkin epic right next door. But to be fair, though, I think it's so close. It's a matter of what you're looking for in a champion. Defense-based champion here. On the A1, we have a leech. Apparently, I love leeches and a bunch of books on the A1 because that's what he's got here. On the A2, we have an AoE decrease attack, okay? On the 3-turn cooldown, it is a 75% chance, make it an 80% chance at landing. 85 with sniper, so not bad there. And then we have an increased defense and continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown. And then on the passive, he's going to remove a random debuff, a self-cleanse from himself at the start of every turn, and it's going to take priority on all of the CC debuffs. So he's tough to stun and freeze and true fear, blah, blah, blah. He also has one of the better defense auras in the game, defense in all battles by 25%. So this guy is bringing a lot to the table, and he's a defense-based champion. So think about it. We get increased defense, we get continuous heal, we get decreased attack, we have leech. He's cleansing himself, and he has a great defensive aura. So this is a champion that can truly help you, not just faction wars, but like Toragi, really anywhere in the game. Clan boss, amazing as a lead as well. Any dungeon that you need support on, even going against negative affinity matchups, I think he's a good tank to have on your team because, again, he's easy to build tanky. Who do you have as your last champion, Cold Brew?
The last champion in the list is going to be unfortunate. Like, I hate repeating this in every video that I mention these strong champions. I feel like I have to, though. Like, many other champions are going to miss this top 10, but this champion cannot miss it because he's going to be used forever and ever and ever until they nerf him to the ground. It's going to be Manitour, right? Manitour, the champion that brings in the unkillable option for players. With just one single champion, you can actually start hitting Ultra Nightmare Clown Boss and get those sweet, sweet Sacred Shards, Legendary Skill Tomes. I always say this. He was such a game changer for my free-to-play account. Totally changed the way that I saw Clown Boss and the difficulties with that. Manitour just made it a walk in the park. He's got an A2 that's very strong as well for beating the faction wars or any challenge where you need to steal turn meter. And he does it with this A2, fully depletes the turn meter of the targeted enemy. And the A1, it's a very unique decreased attack debuff on all enemies. All enemies as a standard, no chance he will place it if he crits. So you have multiple options of building Manitour other than Clan Boss if you wish to push through some specific content. So Manitour is not only the Clan Boss legend that we know him of, but he's also very good because of that A1, A2, and even the leader can actually be used, the leader aura, as the ally HP boost.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad that you included Maneater because I didn't want to have to read through all the dozens of comments being like, where's Maneater? So I'm looking at all the epics we didn't put on this list, right? Like, there's so many. Even here, there's like Claude and Grush and Irogrim and Skull Crusher and Shatterbones. It's impossible to do this stuff, but these are our choices, guys. So feel free to leave us.
I feel like the chat, the audience is gonna go crazy in the comments saying, "How could you miss Royal Guard? How could you miss?" Allure, stuff like that.
Yeah. There's so many amazing epic champions in this game, which is really cool. But these are just our picks of the champions that we love, you know, as most versatile. So I'm going to. This is so tough because for me, it came down to between these two champions, between Miscreated Monster and Doom Priest to have as my final. I love Miscreated. I love him. And he's still amazing. I have nothing bad to say about this champion whatsoever. So I won't say anything bad about him. But
a voice was crying out, help me.
But I do think that Doom Priest is so unique. I guess that's the only thing about Miscreated is that there's a lot of shield champions out there. There's a lot of ally protect. There's not a lot who have them both as effectively as Miscreated does. However, Doom Priest, there's nobody. There's Tuana Rock. There's one Void Legendary who has an ability like her. So Doom Priest is a champion that I was late to the game on. I probably was playing for a year until I finally maxed her out after listening to everybody be like, Doom Priest is amazing. And I always looked at her kit, Cold Brew, and I was always like, oh, increased crit rate, increased attack, a crappy aura. That's it, you know? Like a little heal and a little cleanse. That's what people are so excited about. But once you invest in her, once you start using her, you recognize quickly that, nah, that's not all, you know? Like, I have her Relentless, so, and fast, and build her fast, right? So every turn, she's cleansing my team. Use her against any single, you know, Doom Tower boss out there that you want a little cleanse on, Poison Sphere, anything, right? Use her against, she's great against Hydra, and I feel like the more content the Plarium keeps pushing out there, she's even better. Because seldom are they releasing any sort of boss. We saw in all the Doom Tower bosses, Hydra Clan boss, that doesn't put out a lot of debuffs. So it makes her even better. You get the heal that even Tawanarok doesn't have too on that passive. So Doom Priest is my final choice.
Yeah, I agree with Doom Priest. Just mentioning Doom Priest and how simple she is.
Yeah.
You look at her skills, like, what is this? 5 books on an epic champion? She must be bad, right? 15% increased critical rate, not even 30%. What is this?
Yeah.
Increased attack? I mean, there's other champions that do increased attack, but that cleanse plus a heal does so many things that you wouldn't expect it to do. I do like the way that you built her. Relentless is, I've built her that way before. I've built her with a ton of speed, but I am liking her in a frenzy set. Guys out there, try her out in a frenzy set. So when you get a big attack on your team and you go low, you get a boost to your turn meter with the frenzy set, right? And that helps Doomfist just jump up in the turn order in case she wasn't gonna go right after. She'll get that turn heal anybody that was low, also cleanse if any debuffs landed. And I find that it's in another amazing set on her.
Ooh.
Fantastic cleanser overall. And yeah, she's just second to Hanorag in that aspect in terms of cleansing.
I really like the idea of frenzy. I'm gonna give it a try. I have the gear here. I don't use it a lot, so so we'll go ahead and give it a shot here. But that's gonna conclude this video. Those are our choices for our top 10 or each of our top 5 epic champions that are most versatile here in 2022. Cold Brew, thanks again for coming on, man. Always a pleasure talking raid with you.
Thanks for having me on, man. I always love discussing raid with you.
No problem. Guys, go ahead and give Cold Brew some love. Go follow his Twitter, his Twitch, and subscribe to his channel. All that will be linked in the show notes below for you guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.